Hello, everyone. It is time to drop the puck for some biscuits and penalties. I'm your starting goalie, Alex, and with me, as always, is my esteemed colleague, Cobra. How we doing tonight, Cobra?
Well, we're doing pretty well. Not gonna lie, had a very fun time on Greg's podcast. A lot down, so very nice to get back into familiar territory.
All right, definitely excited. Lockdown is right around the corners. Definitely excited for that to come up. With that being said, the Stadium Series is right around the corner as well. A week from now, February 1st, the Tampa Bay Lightning will take on the Boston Bruins in Raymond James Stadium. And yet again, we have a weather concern controversy where the rest of the United States are freezing their nuts off. Florida is going to be 80 degrees. So the NHL is putting Stadium Series tents over the ice to make sure it doesn't melt. Why? Oh, that's right. It's warm enough that the ice will not stay frozen because it's not cold enough. What do you think this will do with Gary Bateman and the rest of the NHL team to be, hey, look, let's stop putting these series in warm states when the rest of the country is about to die from freezing to death?
Well, hopefully it allows the dream of every NHL fan to happen. That is, Gary Bettman resigns in disgrace.
Oh, definitely agree.
The hatred on Gary Bettman is almost as much as Roger Goodell. That's how bad Bettman is a bad commissioner. He, again, it is officially Rob Manfred, Roger Goodell, Gary Bettman. The only reason why Goodell is higher than Bettman is that America follows football more than they follow hockey. Unfortunately, but that's how it is. However, the hatred is just about there.
Oh, yeah, we have an owner who has a hard on for expanding to every single fucking state in this country and bringing back teams that don't deserve to come back. Because guess what? The Thrashers are good, long, and dead, Gary Bateman. So shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up
I
about
mean,
the Atlanta
and
Thrashers.
and he obviously doesn't show any love to Quebec City because he doesn't want to bring back the Nordiques.
We're lucky we have expansion teams now on the West Coast because until the Kraken popped up, there was no expansion team on the West outside of the Knights in 2018. That was 11 years ago, 10 years
Yeah,
ago. It was a
the
decade ago.
the last expansion team to actually do something is the Ducks. The
When the
Ducks,
Knights popped up in 18, they went on a miraculous Stanley Cup run, losing to the Capitals in six in
and then
Vegas.
winning one on their own.
Yeah, and then when he won on their own, I think in 2021.
It took them a
So it's
while,
like,
yeah, but they got it.
yeah. So when I saw it, I was like 80 degrees. I was like, this is like the Winter Classic in Miami. How are they going to keep the ice cold in the middle of a football field in 80-degree weather? And tents won't help that because it's still going to be warm around the tents anyways. So I don't know how they're going to do that up until a week. They should have put the ice in like the 31st or like hours before, like the day of. Now we're just
Yeah,
hoping and praying the ice stays frozen from now until February 1st, and hopefully the weather subsides from that. Because basically everywhere above Jacksonville is freezing cold. Everything below Jacksonville is 80 degrees, upper 70s weather. So it's ridiculous that the NHL, I get trying to expand hockey with the stadium series and the Winter Classic in other states, but why? Warm weather states and states we have to make sure the ice is frozen and have to pump AC under it for 24 hours plus to make sure the ice doesn't break when game time comes.
2026 is further proof that we are living in hell.
Which is why I'm happy they're going to Utah for the Winter Classic to give the Mammoths some recognition for what the hell they're doing because they are leaps upon bounds better than they were when they were the hockey club. But we'll address them later.
Not only that, but Utah is actually a better fit for winter like conditions, better than fucking Miami.
Um, so as we continue to talk standings and the playoffs. Is always playoff season when it comes to January and February. The divisions always change. And right now, the Atlantic Division East is as tight as it possibly can be. The Lightning won 9 out of the last 10 games. The Montreal Canadiens have won 6 out of 10. The Lightning are right on the tail end of the Detroit Red Wings. Are we going to see what I think is going to happen, which is a Lightning surge late and a Red Wings implosion, like most Detroit sports do late in the season to make them not miss the playoffs? What do you think is going to happen with the Atlantic Division? And do you think the Red Wings can keep it up without imploding on themselves come winning big playoff games to clinch that division?
Yeah, actually, I think Detroit can hold. Believe it or not, I believe Detroit can hold. I mean, I have a funny feeling we're going to see the battle of the Iser plans because Steve Eiserman was originally a GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning for that Stanley Cup championship team. So it would be very interesting to see if the old Iser plan can work, can be involved as much as the new Iser plan in Detroit. But in all open honesty, like I said, I think that there's nothing to worry about. I think Detroit will hold. I think Tampa Bay can still surge, but I think we'll see Tampa and Detroit.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like the Lightning seem to be sitting at this spot in the playoffs. They kind of hover at that second or three seed in the Eastern Conference. They don't usually go for the higher seeds. They kind of just a mediocre team that surges late, but also takes it back a little bit to make sure they stay at that 2-3 spot. I've noticed that the past couple of years with the Lightning, they kind of sit at that 2-3 spot in the Eastern Conference every single year, all the time. And they're only 1 point behind the the Red Wings. The Canadians are 3 back on the Lightning and 5 back on the Red Wings. So this division right now in the Atlantic is anybody's game right now. Same with the Metropolitan right now. Penguins are 6 points behind. The Hurricanes, the Islanders are right up there, 9 points behind. Like this Eastern Conference could be anybody's game. I think the Atlantic is most interesting because we were talking about last week that Detroit was in the front driver's seat of this division in the Atlantic, and now the Lightning won 9 straight games, lost one in overtime. They're on a winning streak right now. The Canadians are fighting their footing right now with the young talent making plays. So it just feels like next time we talk about this, we could be talking about a Lightning takeover if they continue to win games because they seem like the Lightning are not going to stop anytime soon. They've only lost 13 games this year, and they are red hot. Only playing 48 games, so they're still 4 or 5 games back on the Red Wings in terms of record. So this could change. It changes every day. But by the time playoff time, I do think the Red Wings can hold. I think they won't implode, but knowing how Detroit sports goes, they might implode. It just depends. We've seen it with the Lions, with the Tigers. They implode at the worst time, playoff time, or right before it. They just implode.
Hmm. That's not how it used to be. We all remember a time when Detroit, I do at least, remember a time when Detroit Red Wings were dominant.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to look at the Atlantic Division because the Eastern Conference is wide open. There's not a lot of good teams this year. I mean, look at the West, the Avalanche.
I'll stop. I would disagree with the there's not a lot of good teams. No, if we didn't have any good teams, then the standings wouldn't be this close. I disagree with that notation there, Alex. I think that there are plenty of good teams. The fact they're able to keep this so close is a testament to how good this season is. It's anyone's game. So, yeah, I would disagree with the whole the stand division sucks. This is not good hockey. I'm like, I disagree. It's great hockey. Because parity is awesome.
The fact that we're sitting here right now at the wild card spot, being like, the Sabres, where do they come from, is shocking to me. I'm still gonna sit on that bandwagon of they are going to show me they're not good enough just yet. You haven't shown me yet, but I feel like at some point in time the Sabres might trip just a little bit. I'm waiting for that flip, but they're not doing it yet. So who knows? Maybe I'm back in the Sabres train come playoff time. But Cobra, I know well, he's been back in that train since last year. And the Sharks, he's been back and forth on both those teams doing pretty well. And they're both solid teams this year. So
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Sabres for 2 years ago actually had shown like a little bit of promise. We're actually 2 points out of the wild card. By the end of the season, they were actually in the hunt. There was actually promise. The year before, they just didn't have enough experience, enough defense, enough talent to keep up. And now, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has actually stepped up into his own and become a pretty good starting goaltender. You have great depth with Alex Lyon in net for the Sabres as well. I mean, you got Tage Thompson, you got Owen Power. The talent was always there. They just needed time to gel. A little bit more time in the oven, and good things come to those who wait. And I think it is time for the Sabres to break that streak. Now we just got to break off the stink of the Pagulas, and don't get me started on Terry Pagula. Because I'm saving that for the hard count. I'm saving that for tomorrow.
I do think that the Sabres are going to be in a good spot for the wild card race. I mean, they're only a point ahead of the Bruins, and every team below that cut line, all like 4 or 5 points back. I mean, the Maple Leafs at 3, the Panthers at 4, the Stanley Cup champs. Like, there are a lot of teams that are right there, but I think if the Sabres continue to play well, they continue to show what they're doing well, we could be talking Sabres playoff run, maybe. Depends how they look at come end season.
Yeah, 100%.
But before we move on to trade deadline catastrophes with the New York Rangers, we're talking about our affiliate for tonight's episode of Sleeps. As I mentioned before, the cold weather is upon us for the Western United States of America, unless you're a Floridian. So make sure you bundle up and get ready for the cold. And Sleeves is a perfect opportunity. You can get underwear, you can get arm sleeves, you can get shorts, you can get sporting equipment, whatever you need to protect from the cold weather. Use Sleeves. And right now, they're having an extra 50% off sale on top of the 30% off they're already doing. So if you're looking for sportwear or cold weather gear to prepare for the cold weather up north, and you get ski masks too to protect your face from the blistering wind chill. Use our link in our bio for Sleeves and use their discount codes and support us and our friends over at Sleeves to protect your face and your loved ones from the blistering cold while also preparing for the summer season with sports. So,
I actually have that ski mask, by the way. I use it all the time when I'm at work. I mean, in fact, in my latest shorts video on YouTube, you can actually see I'm wearing a sleeves mask. So
definitely agree. And like I said before, the New York Rangers said before the deadline that they are sell at the deadline. They are looking to get rid of players, to add things. But my question is, what are they going to get out of it? Are they getting better players? Are they tanking and getting better draft picks? Who are they trading, and what are they getting out of the trade deadline if they're not going for players?
well, definitely tell you they're getting rid of Jonathan Quick. They're getting rid of some of their offensive and defensive prowess, but they are not getting rid of Igor Shesterkin. I just believe that everyone else is up for grabs except for Igor Shesterkin, and they want more volume capital is what they want. They are tanking. And they believe that if they can have some more volume capital, they can shuffle the deck chairs around because these draft picks are magic beans. So why not? That's what I think is going to happen. The Rangers are pretty much going to blatantly tank because we're done here. So I expect they're going to get rid of Jonathan Quick. which, by the way, the Flyers are in the market for a backup goaltender. So I wouldn't be surprised if they traded quick for Urson and a draft pick. So I wouldn't be surprised for that. Um, and some other players as well. Shit, I can't remember who else is on the Rangers who is worth something, but I could definitely tell you that, yeah, if you have some value, they're trading you all the way down to the studs.
Yeah, I think so too. We're looking at a Rangers team that last year this time was looking to push for a playoff push. They were looking to try to sneak into the playoffs, and they ended up just missing the cut late last year. To now bottom of the Atlantic Eastern Conference, looking to sell. I think they're going to get rid of Adam Fox too. I think Adam Fox could be worth something, maybe late draft picks for them, third and fourth
If
round
I were
picks.
San Jose, I'd probably go after him.
But definitely interesting. And as a Capitals fan, I love the implosion of the Rangers because fuck the Rangers. I don't like that team at all.
Tell us how
So
you really feel, man.
I don't like any Metropolitan team. All of them I hate with a burning passion. More than others than not. But I feel bad for the Rangers, man. I feel like they have the coach, they have the goalie. They just don't have the pieces. They don't have the puzzle put together just yet to try to go for another Stanley Cup run, to go for the big one. I think at some point, Iko Stricken is going to hang up the skates and be like, guys, I can't do this anymore. Trade me or get rid of me because I cannot deal with not making a playoff push because Sudokin is a great goalie. He's done great things with the Rangers. They just don't have the team. And it
Yeah.
sucks. They have the team around him. I think they can do good things. They just don't have that this year.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
The Utah Mammoth right now are making a massive surge in 2026, a year after becoming a new franchise last year, being the Utah Hockey Club. It seems like they might be doing a Las Vegas Golden Knights run in 2018. They were a new team in 2018. They shocked the entire world, going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, losing the Capitals in 6 games. They see to win the cup, I think 2 or 3 years later. But my surprising question is: do you think the Utah Mammoth have what it takes to go on a Knights run and make a deep playoff run with how competitive the Western Conference is? Or do you think they will be like the Devils last year, hit a brick wall because they're too young and don't have the playoff experience?
I think the latter is I think the latter is the option here. Look, the power of an identity is strong, and Utah Mammoth have one after last year being stuck with Utah Hockey Club. You know, they now have an identity. They can now strive for that identity. But like I said, they're just too young. However, the talent is bright. The future is bright. Good talent will take you far. I think they will go. They will be in the playoffs, eliminated in the first round, 7 games, overtime loss.
Definitely interesting. We can say the same thing about their counterparts. The Seattle Kraken, entering, I think, the third year in the league. They're thriving in that second wild card spot in the West, looking for playoff redemption from being eliminated a year or two back. So we could see two brand new teams in the West try to make runs. And the Utah Mammoth is a massive one. If you told me this time last year, hey, the Mammoth will be front runners for that one spot in the wild card in the West, I'm like, who? What are you talking about? I would not have believed you because I would not have believed this team to be so well. But I love what the Mammoth are doing. I love the ownership there. I love that they are thriving in Utah. Obviously, this seems like a better alternative to the dead Arizona Coyotes that absolutely did nothing in their entire existence. So the Mammoth, I think, are a big sigh of relief, a big fresher breath of air for the people of Utah to put on the Mammoth colors and try to watch them win a championship quicker than the Coyotes could ever do because they were just always picking in the top 10 of the lottery because they just didn't have the opportunities to build a team like the Mammoth have now.
Um, a breath of fresh air it is indeed. Although I will say that the Arizona Coyotes fans were there It's just the ownership did not give a flying fuck about the Arizona community or the Arizona Coyotes. They were praying for the day where they could just coast and think that this stuff would be easy so they can go and sell the team. Because they couldn't pay their bills legit. But I believe that the fans miss Arizona. They miss the Arizona Coyotes. Hopefully that franchise will come back. However, Utah is thriving in the market that they have, and clearly the team that was formerly the Arizona Coyotes then that in that last year were showing something. They were showing that spark that would eventually lead us to this point. And normally when you see a spark like that, it does take a couple years for it to fully uh fully erupt into a flame. So yeah, good job,
I
Utah.
definitely agree. I hope at some point I have the opportunity to go to a Mammoth game to experience the atmosphere in Utah. Because from videos I've seen, the atmosphere I've seen, Utah Mammoth games look like a blast to go to. I would love to go to a Mammoth game, either Capitals Mammoth or just a Mammoth game in general, just to feel that atmosphere in that arena, to see what
I
new
I
life.
definitely I definitely would love to go to another NHL game. I've been to one. I've been to one. It was in 2007. It was Flyers and Hurricanes. So it was a great uh great atmosphere there.
So definitely a crazy leap for the Mammoth from last year to this year. I think the mascot was a big opportunity to introduce the mascot, and they ripped through games, ripped through teams. And I think they might be a scary team in the playoffs this year. They can find that spark. They might be a dark horse to make a deep run. Not saying it might be a nice run, but it might be a deep second or third round appearance, maybe second round. Losing there, it depends if they get the momentum like they have now and just keep trucking forward, keep bulldozing through teams like they are now. We could see a dark horse Mammoth team this year in the playoffs in the West for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
But before we move on to the standings, we're going to talk about our games of the weekend. So we have 2 games for Saturday, 1 for Sunday. So, Koba, what are you tuning into this weekend for Saturday and for Sunday? 9 games for Saturday, 6 for Sunday. So you got a lot to choose from.
All right, so give me an original six matchup: the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins, and give me Sabres and Islanders at 1 o'clock. Let's go.
Ooh,
And on Sunday, you know what? We were just talking about them. Give me Devils and Kraken.
definitely an interesting 3 games from Koba he's going to watch. My first game on Saturday, I want to turn into that Mammoth Predators game. Yes, I know the Predators are not so hot, they're not so good. But like I said, the Mammoth are looking to thrive in the West, looking to take full control of that wild card spot. And I feel like if they can take the horns of the Predators and beat them, I feel like it's no one standing in the way. And I feel like the only team might are like the Stars, maybe the Wild, maybe the Avalanche. But the Mammoth need to start winning games against these bad teams or some of these mediocre teams to show that they can make a run. Because I feel like people are not looking at them like, oh, Mammoth might be able to win a Stanley Cup this year, but they haven't shown me yet. But I think if they make a run, they could show people that. In my second game, I'm gonna go with the Kings and the Blues. I love this matchup. The Kings and the Blues are always a tight matchup. Dwayne Binghamton's great in against the pipes for the Blues. And as they say, the St. Louis Blues, they don't lose, and I think they can beat the Kings in this game at home in St. Louis. The fan base is crazy loud in that arena. Give me the Blues in that game on Saturday. And for Sunday, There's a couple good games I want to watch, but I think I'm going to keep a track of the Avalanche and the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs are fighting for the wild card spot in the East. The Avalanche continue to try to win games to escape the Dallas Stars' wild trap that they might become victim of if they lose more games. I think this is a big game that they might lose. If they do lose, I don't know. The Stars, the Wild could be cooking up something to make it run because the captains of the Wild want to get momentum heading into the Olympics, and then out of the Olympics want to further that momentum out of the Olympics. And I think right now is the time for the Avalanche to win an important game to do that before the Olympics happen. And with that, we go to the standings. We're gonna do what we did last week, Cobra. So I'm gonna have you do the Atlantic Division, I do the Metropolitan, you do the Central, and I do the Pacific Division.
All right. So leading the way in the Atlantic Division is the Detroit Red Wings. 31, 16, and 5 with 67 points. Right behind them is the Tampa Bay Lightning with 31 wins, 13 losses, and 4 overtime losses with 66 points. In third, the Montreal Canadiens, 28, 16, and 7, 63 points. In that wild card spot, we have the Buffalo Sabres, 28, 17, and 5, 61 points. Nipping at their heels is the Boston Bruins, 29, 20, and 2, 60 points. Then right behind them is their little brother, the Toronto Maple Leafs, 24, 17, and 9, 57 points. Right behind the Maple Leafs are the reigning, defending, two-time Stanley Cup champ, Florida Panthers, 26, 20, and 3, 55 points. And in last in the Atlantic are the Ottawa Senators, 23, 20, and 7, 53 points.
Definitely interesting that the Panthers may not be able to defend the Stanley Cup champion. We could have another new champion in the year 2026. Leading the Metropolitan Division is the Carolina Hurricanes.
Raleigh
At 31, 15, and 5 with 67 points. Right behind them are the Pittsburgh Penguins at 25, 14, and 11 with 61 points. New York Islanders are 27, 18, and 5 with 59 points. The Flyers are 23, 17, and 9 with 55 points. The Devils are 26, 22, and 2 with 54 points. Also 54 points are my Washington Capitals at 24, 21, and 6. Columbus Blue Jackets are 23, 20, and 7 with 53 points. And the basement dwellers of the Metropolitan on the New York Rangers at 21, 24, and 6 with 48 points.
All right. And now for the Western Conference, I'm actually going to switch this up. I'm doing the Pacific, and I'll have you close this out with the Central. If that's okay, Alex?
That's cool with me. So, leading the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, wrong C team. Colorado Avalanche at 34, 5, and 9 with 77 points. Right behind them on the Minnesota Wild, 29, 14, and 9 with 67 points. The Stars are 28, 14, and 9 with 65 points. The first team in that wild card spot are the Utah Mammoths at 26, 20, and 4 with 56 points. We got the Predators at 24, 22, and 4 with 52 points. The Blackhawks are 21, 22, and 7, 49 points. The Jets are 20, 23, and 7, 47 points. And the St. Louis Blues are 19, 23, and 8 with 46 points.
All right. And now for the Pacific Division. We have the Vegas Golden Knights, a.k.a. the home of famous women respecter Carter Hart. 24, 13, and 12, 60 points. Right behind them are the two-time Western Conference finalists, the Edmonton Oilers. 25, 19, and 8 for 58 points. Then, right behind them, get your quack buckets up. It's the Anaheim Ducks. 26-21. Excuse me. And 3. Sorry about that. 55 points. Then right behind them are the Seattle Kraken. 22-18-9, 53 points. Nipping at their heels are the San Jose Sharks. 25-21-3, 53 points. We have the LA Kings. Yeah. 20-16-13, 53 points. The Calgary Flames, 21-24-5, 47 points. And the Vancouver Canucks, former home of famous child respecter Ryan Kessler, 17-28-5, 39 points.
Definitely interesting standings out of the West as we continue to round the corner to the long stretch of the playoffs. But I'd like to plug our other podcast, The Lap Down, our racing podcast with Greg and Ryan, which might be hosted by Ryan on Monday due to the storms up in Georgia. The Gutter's Edge, our bowling podcast with Cobra and Ricky. They are gearing up for episode 3.
Episode 2. Episode 2.
Episode 2 this upcoming week. Passing the Pigskin, our college football podcast. Dirt and Turf, our baseball podcast. We're excited for spring training as we get closer and closer and closer to spring training coming up.
Yep.
The Hard Count, our football podcast. Our second to last episode is tomorrow as we round the corner of the Super Bowl.
No, we got like 3. We have 3 more episodes to go. For the Hard Count. Then we'll probably do like special episodes for the Hard Count.
Fair enough. Handing Down Bench or Shooting the Shit podcast. We'll be having that at the end of this month for a special little episode.
Yep, to celebrate 100 subscribers, which we are very appreciative of over here at Handing Down Sports Media. Thank you for giving us 100. We're trying. Now the goal is 150. The goal is 150.
Yeah, the Handing Down Beatdown, a wrestling podcast, which I believe we're having next Sunday.
Yes, next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday.
We'll be addressing the results of the Royal Rumble as we continue the road to WrestleMania and who will be facing the world champion in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be in Vegas this year.
Oh, Vegas, that's right.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is the year after.
We're on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Patreon, wherever you get your podcast from. Support us on Patreon as enough as Arizona Iced Tea. We greatly appreciate it. But that is the final horn. So we'll have to step off the ice. So good night, everyone.
Good night. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.